Charlie, awesome possum, dude. Great job today. I am so thankful you're getting this because I really want you to succeed. The way to succeed is repetition. So if you have 5-10 minutes here over and over again, just do what we're talking about. I like blank out the TV when I'm watching it. We watch like Stephen Colbert and a whole bunch of other satire nonsense when we're going to bed for about an hour or so. And I just sit there and I just play these silly spider exercises underneath it. I'm personally working on these right now. These are these diminished kind of feeling scales I was talking about. It's a whole step, half step. So it's a whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So we do this over and over again. It's a very weird thing for me to do, so I practice it in all the keys that I possibly can. But for what we're doing together, just working on playing the spider exercise is a great linear way to get your fingers used to playing these. Going up and down and keeping our fingers as close to the fretboard is the whole purpose of this. And then I think you understood that the right hand here is going to be going up and down, up, or up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, alternating picking. The concept we have now is if you can play an E major and you can play an E major, getting to your other E major, if you could lay your E major down as one felt swoop, then we have accomplished what we want to. But if your other E major is still kind of layering, then keep working at that E major triad. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and play and rest with placed, rest with placed, rest with placed. Even if you're really super awesome at doing the other E and you could go from this one to directly that one, still layer the fingers. It will make sense in the long run. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and play and layer and layer and layer, because eventually your brain will start doing the both with both of these. This same shape, when we go up to the A minor, can then be taken forward and barred to play the B flat note on the 5th string. When we play the A minor, it's typical that we shoot for the 5th string for the lowest note, but it's not necessary as F is in the chord of B flat minor. When we go to F major, that F note is the dominant note, so go ahead and shoot for that one. But when we use the back of the finger while barring, we should be able to hit the high F and then the C note, which is just another relative part of our triad for F major. So this week, E major, F, A major, B flat. E minor, F minor, A minor, B flat minor. Feel free after doing that a couple times to just work these up the fretboard and see if any of those notes become easier. I noticed that the pinky was muting the back, so when we're doing this, try not to look at here, look at a mirror or even turn on your iPhone and look at the fingers like I'm doing right here and concentrate on getting that finger, instead of being a flat type of chord, E major flat, try and lift those fingers up so they're pointing in at the fretboard. And then, just because I want to leave you with the concept of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, because you already have it. The half steps in between every single scale are always going to be at the 3 and the 4. If I called this E note a turkey and called this one a baloney and called this one a soccer ball, I would know that my next one, regardless of what I call it, would have to be called a half step. Regardless if I call it an airplane to a roto-rooter. It doesn't matter what I call it, it's still gonna have that feeling. Whole step, half step. 1 to 2, whole. 2 to 3, whole. 3 to 4, half step. 4 to 5, whole step. 5 to 6, whole step. 6 to 7, whole step. Then 7 to 8, half step. Or 7 back to 1, whole step. We just call this E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, because if I called it anything other than those note names, they would actually represent something else. I know that's whoop, but that's the reason why we start with C major. C to open D, E to F, there's our half step. Open G, A, open B, and C. When we go through the process of learning C, 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 D, 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 E, 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 F, 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 open G, 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 A, open B, first fret C. We could do these forwards and backwards. Then we move on to playing that same C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C with our second finger on the same fret, and we omit the second and the first and the open and still play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This secondary scale tends to be the scale that I use the second most, and then the next scale, which starts with our first finger, is what I use the most all over the fretboard. Believe me, as soon as you get that pattern, it goes everywhere. It does not matter where you play it, that is now a major pattern. That's why we teach from this. And eventually, we're just going to be starting to play a whole bunch of music together, which is why I'm so super stoked about this next lesson. This next lesson grouping, we're going to be starting to introducing a lot more music. So if you have any musical choices of artists or bands you really dig, send them my way. I will definitely listen to it, try and figure out how the chords do it, and have it prepared for us. Otherwise, bring it to my attention the day of, and we can do it as a learning process. Anywho, work through the E, E minor, F major, F minor, A minor, B flat minor, and B flat major. And then the sky's the limit when we start combining the concept of the cage, C, A, G, E, and D. When we bar a chord, we can still play our C, you see it? C, A, there's our A, our G, our E, and then our D. We're just changing the point of which the nut is. So if we did the same thing up here at the 5th fret, we would have, cool, right? G, F. So that'd be an F. At A, we could play a C, F major, and we'll talk about it through the eyes of that. Meaning, if you get to this point and you have the 1, the 3, the 5, the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. What we do is we talk about how to change that to fit the song. I think you're doing a wonderful job. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you next week. And then throw me a couple of comments here about bands you like or an email. Either way, I'll see you next week. Aloha.